Sorry, they just posted a picture on Discord of Batman playing Cornucopias.
That's amazing. All
Yeah.
right, I gotta go look. 1 sec. Oh my god, that literally is Batman. Those boots don't look very Batman-y, but
They
like, I
don't
mean,
look Batman-y,
I'm
but the
so like,
rest,
but the rest of it is very Batman-y. That's
yeah.
he's like,
It's like he didn't spray paint the boots.
he's like, I need to look at my bag. I need to put
Uh,
all my gear in the bag. Hey,
Kobe.
he's like. Welcome to Around the Corn, presented by the Knights Guild. Thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe because we love the likes and subscriptions. It's the best part of our day. If you want to hear us speculate wildly on something in-game, throw your questions in the comments, and next episode we will pretend to know the answer. Follow us and the Knights Guild on X. You can learn a ton about the Knights Guild on Discord and the Guild website. All the links you need are in the description. I am your host, Faux Hubris. As always, I'm joined by the man who always hits on 20 when he's in Vegas, Eddie Z. How's it going, buddy?
Hey, what's up, man? Oh, I
Yeah.
wish I had that kind of luck, but I'm here sporting my Ada drip right here, my Ada outfit, just in support of Rare Evo and
Yeah,
crypto
here I
get
am.
up it.
We can't be in Vegas, so we were going to pretend we were checking into the hotel. How
Yeah,
you
yeah,
doing?
yeah.
I'm checking
How you
in,
doing?
buddy.
So yes, may I have some ID? And
Yeah.
you need a suite or a one bedroom or two
I
bedroom?
want I need the penthouse with the view of the strip, please.
Ah, perfect. To the penthouse it is.
Yes.
Let me check you in here. Oh,
And then,
I'm
and then,
terribly sorry. Let me move my browser out of the way. I'm still watching. I still need the. I'll check you in after the latest Kopi Cafe
I can't
news.
I can't believe it. Is that actually what's on the monitor? It's a Kopi it is a Kopi Cafe. I thought you were joking when you said you were watching the Kopi Cafe on the
No,
monitor.
no, no.
That
It's
is
called,
that is it.
it's called it's I'm on corntube.com. Looks like cornucopia's game. Yeah, yeah. So after
I
this episode, I'll check you into your room set.
I'm gonna need a 10 million Kopi marker for my roulette gambling.
Oh yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, there's plenty to go around.
Eddie, there was an interesting conversation that happened on Discord that I wanted to bring up. It's kind of like, I would say somewhat delicate subject because it's like, people were in Discord. I don't want to say that they were like, complaining or yelling. Everyone has the right to like feel how they feel about the project. But there was,
Mhm.
people expressing concern about promises that had been made in the past. I would take, kind of judge like a little bit of critique with the word promises, but like, things that have been said in the past, timelines that have been made back in 2021 and how well or poorly the team has met those timelines. And, before like I get too far into it, I do think it's hard for anybody to like be paying full attention to the project. It's very easy for someone who works a full-time job, has family, like to miss the kind of information that's being put out there. But people were saying that promises were made in 2021. There was a timeline we expected, and then there was like a post of a timeline that came out in 2021, and
An old post.
an old post, yeah, that post that like the roadmap in 2021. And when I first saw it, my instinct was like, wow, that is quite the difference between what they thought they were going to be in 2021 versus what they are now.
Yeah.
So that conversation was going on. And that conversation had more or less completed. And then Rob came in the Discord the next day and he had a really interesting reply to it. And I wanted to read it because I think it's worth hearing, because we're very lucky to be in a place where you can make a criticism that's basically saying, hey, you guys promised us this and we didn't get it. What's wrong? I'm mad. And then you have Rob, people have their feelings. This is, it's stressful being invested in crypto. Everyone knows that. But then Rob calmly and politely, this is what his response was. I think it's fantastic.
Right.
This first, he starts off by saying this roadmap was ambitious, definitely. Great. He takes ownership of the fact that they made an we can talk about more about that, why you need ambitious timelines. But he starts off saying we probably promised too much in the beginning. That's what I hear when I say that. This roadmap was ambitious, definitely, but we were using UE4 and off-the-shelf Polygon assets. When UE5 came around, we had already made the decision to build our own assets and build on the new emerging platform, meaning UE5. We have constantly reported our intentions and how our decisions were going to extend the time to market. If you look at what we have and compare with other Web3 games, it's remarkable. Where would we have been had we stuck to that original UE4 game? Maybe some would have enjoyed a short term high, but long term, everyone left would be scrambling. Quality takes time, and we are now in a very strong position, IMO, in my opinion, to become one of the leading projects in Web3 and have a real chance to break into Web2 and disrupt the space. Keep an eye on Rare Evo. There may be some interesting news on the horizon. By the way, the original white paper said the strategy was always to create our own assets should we have early success, and we fulfilled that promise as well. So, what are your thoughts on just hearing that? Do you feel like that's a valid response to people say, you promised game by 2022, no game, we're almost in 2025?
I mean, I think companies have the right to pivot. I mean, were a lot of changes. The EU5 conversion was a big one, right?
And it
Which was
wasn't
also
wasn't a
honestly,
smooth. It wasn't a
yeah,
smooth conversion because not because of the team, because the UE5 had issues.
but it's
Yeah,
going to pay dividend in the end. I mean, in the end, it's I think people are being I mean, that's kind of why we always try to set expectations, right? Like, I mean, I'm part of the community just as much as those people are, right?
yeah,
And I think it's funny because like it's like the tables are turning, right? So now you are starting to think like an investor at that
yeah,
point too, because it's like people were at the start of this, like, oh, it's going to be a game. The game takes time, and people forget that, you know. So like, I think people should ease off a little bit. People, companies are allowed to pivot. There are
yeah,
reasons for setting a roadmap like that, right? And
yeah.
honestly, out of all the projects out there, especially on Cardano, who's delivered the most, right? Like I feel like there
No, there's
can
no question.
yeah, like I mean, there aside from like Clay Nations, they have their own game. Who else has a game out there that actually you can play? I think Makosi has their own like ITO game that's like, yeah, it's like a kiddish game.
Mm.
Um, but like I mean, in terms of delivery, I think Cornucopias has done that significantly, and I mean, they're growing their team slowly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can't rush these things. I mean, otherwise we get stuff like Cyberpunk, right?
I think you can do like one or two strategies if you're going to make a Web3 game. If strategy one is like build a simple kind of fun kind of little game that's not like super graphicy or super like in depth with like lore and all that. That's like kind of like almost like a Tetris game, right? Where it's just really simple. It's probably easy to build. Like just like some kind of mind draining game where you sit down at your in your bed at night, and maybe 20 minutes before you go to bed you get on your phone and you do some things, and it's Web3, and you can build that pretty quickly, right? That is not what any of us invested in. We didn't we could have had that, and there are options of that were promising that out there's things like sand and like mana that you could invest in, that's doing those kind of like simple store bought artwork, really like like simple kind of games. But we chose this project because of the promise of something extraordinary. And
Mhm.
I came into the project when they were making the decision to transition to UE5. I don't
Mhm.
remember that roadmap that came out. I wasn't here for that. I do. It's unfortunate if like you based your whole NFT buying based on having utility for your NFTs in 2022, 2023. But the reality is like who in their right mind is going to start a project like this right now, given how complicated the crypto markets are, how up and down they've been, how like how fickle the community is. No
Yeah.
one is even going to uh, try to do this. It's just alluvium. It's just alluvium. It's just cornucopias. The other ones that are trying to do it are floundering. They're not making progress. So like I think I'm pretty happy with the decisions they made. Every game that's coming out over the next 10 years is going to be built on UE5. If we had a UE4 game right now, yeah, like Rob says, it would come out maybe last year or this year, but it would be garbage in 2 years. It would be nothing compared to the UE5 enhancement was so big that every game that comes out needs to be built on UE5. Don't you think so?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I also would challenge the people who are questioning all of the process in all this. It's like, I challenge you to find me a game that's coming out this year. How long did it take? Like, tell me,
Yeah.
how long is that did that it's coming out in 2024, but how long did it take? And if it did take a year to 2 years, tell me how big that team is,
Yeah.
because
Yeah. Yes.
Cornucopias only has, what, 50 to 60 people,
Yeah.
with including contractors. But it's like, you gotta put that into perspective too. Like,
Yeah.
and it's to the and to also the level of quality. I mean, we got 10 people for Pal 10 or 12 people for Pal World, and look at how amazing that game turned out to be because of just the concept. Not even just, I mean, the graphics are probably in line with, like, Nintendo graphics, right? Where with like Zelda Breath of the Wild, or
Yeah.
other games like that are within Nintendo, like Mario. But the const like, that game is pretty big compared environmentally wise, like, in terms of the
Mhm.
map and how big you explore the world. It's a lot, and so put that into perspective. I know now it's like those people that have been in here for 2 years are now expecting a lot, right? Because of, yeah, that roadmap, but roadmaps are meant to change. This is an investment. Now you understand where this comes from and why games get released so too early, because
Yes.
investors are the ones pushing these games to be pushed out because they wanna make money, right?
They told you that they were extending the timeline. They told you that they were moving away from making a console game, they making a mobile game to focus on Kalito Valley. They said that they were going to do Kalito Valley first because it gives them opportunities to be able to use Kalito Valley to speed up the Solace, Esperanza, and Fortune, and that's what they did. They chose Kalito Valley, like rightly or wrongly. People don't like racing. That's fine. They don't like racing
It's
games. Right? But like I mean, you either
there's a
like a
niche.
racing game or you don't. I,
Right.
I would I would argue that the racing game is really fun. That is challenging. That you if you don't like a racing game, you should try it. But like, I believe them when they say they made Kalito Valley because it gives them a chance to make Solace faster. I believe them that when they say Solace was a lot of work, that it's coming out soon, that they're going to be able to deliver Esperanza and Fortune faster now that they've done those that they've done Solace. So I think that there's a lot of opportunity there to speed up this timeline.
I wanna also give another example of, back, like, remember about a year ago, Grand Theft Auto 6 had leaks, that came out
Oh
for the
yeah,
game, for
people
GTA
hated
6.
that footage, right?
Yeah, it was, yeah, we were bashing Rockstar, in terms of how horrible the game looked, how, like, compared to GTA 5, and it's just like, and then overwhelmingly, the gaming development community showed up in stride, like, with showing them how certain games, how the games are actually built, because people don't understand the processes, and there is a process to this, and it's not within your timeline of, when am I going to get rich?
Yeah,
It's
they're
not
not
your
worried about
timeline.
when Lambo, when
Right,
Lambo for you.
they're trying to prevent Cyberpunk 2077 from happening,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah,
then, so, like, they wanna make what 2077 is today versus
yeah.
what it was, like, when it first was coming out, like, years ago. So it's like, you
What
gotta
do
you
you,
gotta keep that mindset,
what do you think
or change
is
that
the
mindset.
like let's say there's a game that comes out too early and it's garbage in Web 2, and everybody who plays it hates it. And then the team goes back and they fix all of the game and they make a great game, right? So they go from garbage to great. What percentage of people do you think who played it when it was garbage will never come back to that game,
Mm.
even if
Uh,
it's a great game?
I will say it did happen to me. I mean, it happened
Yeah,
with that game. It happened to me with
with
2077.
Cyberpunk, yeah,
Yeah, with Cyberpunk, I requested the refund, and I never went back to the game, even though I hear it's amazing today.
yeah,
I still haven't, you know, I'm like, okay, that's good that they fixed the game. I just haven't. Maybe I
right.
should. I should probably pick it up. I'm a gamer, so I should probably pick it back up. Um, it's looks like a lot of fun. It's a good solo experience. So I might give it a shot.
But
But again, I
I
like.
think it's like well over 50% will never come back to the game if you lose them in the first try.
Yeah. Yeah. But again, going back, I love the fact that the gaming community and the gaming developing
Mm.
community actually, like, stepped up on the plate, because to defend Rockstar, you'll notice what a game looks like, how, during development, to when it actually goes to what you're actually playing, today.
Well, so I'm glad we talked it out. I'm glad we had that conversation because I think it's worth, just like running through it, how we think about it. Everyone's entitled to feel how they want about it. We're not telling you how to feel about it. If you want to be
We're
upset, like it's okay.
yeah,
Like
we're
you
just setting expectations because, like,
Yeah.
I if you were to Google right now, how long does it take for a game, a AAA game to be produced? It's gonna give you like 2 to 7 years.
Yeah.
It's more than likely gonna tell you. So 2 to 7. We're on year 3, and with some setbacks in terms of switching from UE4 to UE5.
Yeah,
So
and
and
then,
it was a
but
well
also,
needed process.
but part of this process is creating something that no one has ever created before, which is the Web3 infrastructure, which is to me adds to the timeline because something that Rob said in his response, which I think is important. He says we have a chance to disrupt the gaming community, right?
Correct.
And that should give you goosebumps when you hear that because it's the projects, it's the investments, it's the companies that are disruptors that go from pennies to Amazon, thousands of dollars a share, Google from like dollars to thousands of dollars a share because they did something that no one else can do. So like I'm excited to hear that when Rob says that we have a chance to be a disruptor.
They're being as fully transparent as
Mhm.
possible more than any other project out there. I mean, you see these
Yeah,
people's faces. They're showing you more of the team
their
in
real
in the
names, their full
podcast. Right.
names.
Right.
Yeah,
They're out there at Rare Evo right now, which I wish I was there right now playing the Solace right now.
yeah.
The footage looks amazing.
I'm learning how to take all the coolest land right now from all of you. That's what I'm learning.
Don't take my plot, boy.
Yeah, right? As soon as I get home, I'm going on a race to get all the coordinates for all the land that I want so that on launch day, when I can use my NFTs, I know exactly where I'm going. I have to wait until all of you guys get access to it, but I've been seeing it right here, so I at least have a beta perspective on what I'm going to do. So I'm excited about that.
What size is your mythic plot again?
I have a bunch of them, so
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
All right. So there was Crow being Crow. How do you feel about that, Eddie? Do you think do you feel competitive? Like the land, like he's going to take my land. I'm going to go get it from him. Is that how you're
Yeah.
feeling?
Well, I mean, apparently, I mean, it didn't. He didn't deny that he didn't have multiple mythic sizes. So I feel like he does have some mythics out there. So he could probably be well off on in
Oh,
that
that's
search.
crazy.
So and I'm not gonna lie, that did prompt me to start looking at, at mythic prices, just because I was like, I want something dope. But I do believe that there will be those like few commons that'll get lucky because again, you do the math, right? So there's 24,000 land plots. Three divided by three, that's 8,000. So 8,000 is going to be devoted to the three solaces. So if you take the 8,000, divide that by three, right? Because it's three solaces.
Mhm.
And what do we have there? Like 2,600, I think is probably around there, the math.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's going to be people that don't use their certain size land plots. That will so people I think people will have some get will be surprised in what land plots they end up getting for
Yeah.
just a common. And me personally, getting first dibs clearly is worth having a mythic in my opinion. Plus you also have the rarity bonus of having apparently there's different qualities of building structure and how the building looks and style as apparently. So that's another thing. So that's how you will be able to tell how a rare differentiates from to a legendary or a mythic.
I have a question for you. Would you today, if I could give you a common copious land plot or uh, an equal number of common smalls that equal one copious land plot, which would you rather have? Would you rather have all those smalls, or would you rather have the copious?
Mm. I might. That's a hard one because so my thought is I I want to be able to spread out as much as I can, right?
Right.
Because I want to be able to have multiple different like retail locations, right? Spread throughout, pretty well balancedly out
Yeah.
throughout Solace or all the whatever theme zone you're in. So I would probably think of maybe doing the smalls just because I already have epics and large and then a few mediums and smalls, but
Yeah.
like I would use my large and epic to focus on two or three crafting stations,
Yeah.
and then I would have to distribute those to the smalls out there.
Hmm.
Let's say if I have a solace, I would want to have send stuff over to Esperanza or Fortune.
Yeah,
So it's because of I mean I would assume that's how the mechanics is going to work in terms, or the economics is going to work in terms of resources, right, and how scarce they are. So you'd
yeah,
want to distribute that. So that's what would be my plan, because I would want to be able to, like, I'm thinking as a person who, in like, if I'm in Fortune, I would want a resource that I can only find in Solace. Well, guess
yeah.
what? You go with it. So the more smalls, I think
You have
I
more
would want
chances
that
you have to get those. Yeah,
to get
I
the
think
transaction.
I think that the question will be when it's all out there, we have all the information. Is like how valuable is it being able to have everything you want in one land plot? Because I assume if you have a copious land plot, like the advantage there is you can put all the buildings in that one land plot. There's enough room for all of them, and so
Yeah,
having them in that centralized location is that an advantage? We'll never we won't know for a while, but
I don't.
that's
I Yeah, but based on the building structures, like based on those like leaks that came out in terms of how the different level ups of crafting stations, and how you start off, like with the woodworking shop, right? You started off with just like a work table, and then you eventually uh you have like a full factory, like lumber mill type of type of deal, right? So it's
mhm,
like I feel like you could only fit at max like two of those in a copious, based on like my speculative
hmm,
like square footage of what
yeah,
those crafting stations
maybe
take up.
yeah.
So I just feel like you only need two. So you won't be able to, and to start, from my understanding, there's going to be seven different crafting stations, like what am I trying to say, like specialty, I guess.
Yeah, 7
Uh
steps, yep, mhm,
so I mean, you won't be able to be a master at all of them, right? So
right. I
that's
that
just,
that's true. But, like,
yeah.
maybe you have one people wanna come to your copious land plot so they can, use all of your buildings there, right? Or, like, it's
You could set up some
yeah,
retail there, yeah, but I
yeah,
mean, again, you're only people have to go to you at that point, because if it's
yeah,
so centralized and the map is huge, you're gonna have to really hope that people are in that area more, frequently, right? So, like, that's why I would rather have, like, a lot of sprinkled out,
mhm,
uh, small land plots or medium land plots just out where people aren't buying,
yeah,
because at some point people will be exploring those areas, and they're gonna be running low on resources in that area. And guess
yeah,
what? Hey,
you
I'm here. I have a
yeah,
shop that sells Solace resources at here in Esperanza. I'm available. You want to buy like, here's for
yeah.
5 copy, you can get X resource.
Yeah, it's like, oh, if I go, I need blank. So if I go back to Solace to get it and mine it and all that, it's going to cost me like 7 kopii in like fuel and different things. Or I could just go buy it from you for 6 kopii or 5 kopii,
Yep.
and then it's like, okay, well, it makes sense. That's definitely like so many opportunities. Let's go back to like the game because we're about to see some footage that we haven't seen ever. So
Okay.
All right, so we do have the transport in the hub. Obviously, this is not going to do it justice. When you see it at home on your own computer, the quality is going to be so much higher. But here's a little bit of preview of someone coming in to the Solace hub, where you're able to take the G train to each individual Solace. Then from there, we've got red lines and blue lines to take you around to all the different areas of Solace.
Yeah, and then there's a platform.
Now, you're sitting there wondering, that's great, but how do I find my land plots? Well, you pick up a little scanner in the box that he just passed. That's going to allow you to hit the scan button, and it'll throw out a digital net across the landscape, and you'll be able to see those plots in a three-dimensional representation.
I mean, it's kind of crazy. I mean, we've gotten so used to the graphics of the game, but like just like the shine on that floor there is pretty amazing. So, I mean, this is what we've been waiting for. Like a lot of us, that this is the lead up to the land grab. This is what we're going to be getting within probably a month of
Yeah.
now. I mean, but we're all hoping for. So, what do you think of this, Eddie? Are you excited?
Yeah, man, I agree with you with that shiny ass floor there, man. Who mops that damn thing? God damn, that thing is
Yeah, you
impressive.
see your reflection in that thing.
Yeah. No, God, I'm so jealous. I wish I was there. I really
Playing it,
wish I
I
was
know.
playing it. Like, I want
That
to be in there. I want to, like, just so much I want to, like, see and experience. I mean,
yeah.
I know I will. I'm just so, like, I'm
Yeah.
so impatient.
We're going next year. Next year I'll be in a better spot to be able to go there.
Yeah,
Yeah, right
I
now
would hope so too.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
want
we're
to go
gonna
next year.
yeah. All right, let's keep going.
Okay.
In a three-dimensional representation. Now, if you guys will notice, we've got different areas on top of the elevators. They're all labeled, so you can go to any individual town straight from the elevator hub, or once you get into the town, you can choose to take the red line or the blue line.
Literally the first time the lights off on here. The man playing the game.
Okay, so up the ramp, it'll take you up to the surface of Solis, right? Okay. There's a couple floors, but you'll go around.
He's going up right now to the top of, from the elevators, you're going to go into these different town centers. And the town centers generally house a lot more of the plots together. But don't worry, if you're looking for a secluded location, there is more than enough spread throughout the different solaces. You will spend forever looking for your perfect plot.
So it looks like coming up those stairs there, Eddie, that it's like you're in the bowels of the dome, which I wonder because when they transition from doing your personal bubbles and they decided that the living quarters are going to be like in these domes, like kind of like underneath it. Like I wonder, like if like you see him going up to Solace, maybe you go down to the living quarters. There is going to be the option. That looks. I mean, that's just a speculation, but I'm guessing.
Yeah, I wish they showed more as to what that area is. It's kind of hard to tell. Like it's like a midpoint for sure, like into a load screen for Solace.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. I feel like obviously we weren't shown everything there, and then there's more to leak. That's kind of why. Again, wish I was there.
Yeah,
Lucky bastards of you who are there out there.
If that's the only, yeah, right. I mean, I love Vegas. Vegas is like my third home.
Never been.
I'll take. I'll take you some good places when we're there next year, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
But like it's interesting because like if that's the only load screen for the entire Solace, that's kind of wild, right? Like you load into Solace and now and that's like now you're just running through the almost infinite expanse of Solace. That's kind of like an impressive feat.
Well, again, and this hats off to basically the structure of behind the scenes, right? Keep in mind, this is a decentralized node system that they got going on. I mean, that's brilliant, yeah. Along with centralized nodes as well. And it can be done, and along with Copri rewards. So like this whole network of stuff, like I think Rob even said it at some point during the Discord. Like they don't really they should be shouting this more about what they're doing and how they're doing their back end for this game and how they support it, because the load times are pretty quick. I mean, I don't have really too much like load time issues. The game runs like I don't think I've ever had a downtime yet. I mean, it could happen, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's got some bugs still. It crashes sometimes, but that's to be expected.
The node system is brilliant. I mean, it's working and it's their tech, right? So
yeah,
it's amazing, man. I am very impressed with that back end, and that's what. And like to your point, like it's just one load screen, right? And I'm hoping that's it. I mean, I don't know if there is another load screen. I don't. Right? There isn't. There shouldn't be another load screen.
We haven't seen one, so I'm guessing that it's one load screen into Solace. Maybe it's a different load screen into like the living quarters. But if the whole dome is one load screen into the living quarters, one load screen into Solace, one load screen off the train, 3 load screens total. That's so good. That's just, I mean, like, because like, I mean, you could very easily imagine like Solace being sectored and like having different load screens, like to make it easier for them, like that, like different quadrants, like, so they don't. Let's keep going because like my favorite part's about to come up.
Sorry, they just posted a picture on Discord of Batman playing Cornucopias.
That's amazing. All right, I gotta go look. 1 sec. Oh my god, that literally is Batman. Those boots don't look very Batman-y, but like
they don't look Batman-y, you know.
But the rest of it is very Batman-y. That's He's like
it's like he didn't spray paint the boots.
he's like I need to look at my bag. I need to put all my gear in the bag. Hey,
Kobe.
He's like.
If you want to be in the woods all alone, you can be in the woods all alone. If you want to be next to a waterfall, you can be next to a waterfall. There's so many different varieties of properties available. Now, if you look, when he uses a scanner tool, the different grid systems pull up from the ground. And all of these are different plots.
Now go up to one of the squares.
So he's pulling up a plot right now. Look at that. You can hit Y. It's going to show you that is a large plot. If you haven't seen a plot in person yet, they are so much bigger than you would imagine.
I love the graphic of the way the grids appear. That looks so good. I get so amped up to hear Kopi Boy, like they're bigger than you realize. Like it's gonna. I mean, it's like, oh my god, we're getting our land.
Yeah, no, and like the little girl in me is coming out, right?
Yeah, I know, right?
It's like, ooh, goody.
I
But
know.
it's oh man, I'm so excited, dude, because like the process of that, like what we just saw, just reminds me of when like Spider-Man used Spider Sense, or when Assassin's Creed they use their like
Yeah, I
some
remember
sort of
Assassin.
whatever their focus is, like the
Yeah.
so like it's
Oh,
like that.
their eagle eye. It was the eagle eye.
Eagle Eye, yes, correct.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you. It just reminds me of that. So I love that. I figured I kind of actually figured that's kind of what it was going to be, but I wanted to. I didn't know what the visuals of how the land would be like. How so it shows you the border of that large land plot. Oh man, it's gonna be so cool because
And
I'm gonna be
it's
walking so much around that area just to get like searching for the ones that I want.
I mean,
It's
when,
gonna be
when,
so
when
cool.
in the time between Solace's release and the land grab, like you and I, we're just gonna have to be doing nonstop exploring because we wanna be able to like give you guys as much like of a view of what's out there as you can get. So I love it, man. I'm excited. Let's keep going.
A small is not small. A copious is just mind-blowing.
Right
Now, see, he just went to the website. Are we still on?
Yeah.
Are we still live? Awesome. Yeah. What happened is he clicked on the claim button, and that's not active yet, right? But eventually that'll be tied to the website, and that will bring up the map and show you where you go to do the land claim during the land rush. So it's all tied into the web. That way, whether you're able to get into the game right now or just able to, follow the project but not get into the game, you can still claim one way or the other.
It seems like based on that, they're probably ready to go with the land grab right now. Like if they had to do it today, they could probably do it. But you know how they are, where they want to like double check, triple check, quadruple check everything and make sure it's all running. But like it seems like it's there. That's how we're gonna do it.
Yeah, I think they're ahead of the game on that so far, from what we can tell, right? I'm curious. Maybe they're probably doing final touches on the actual website that where you do claim it, right? Where you can link your wallet and do all that with. So maybe they're probably. I bet you they're probably testing stuff on that.
Working the back end stuff. Yeah.
Right. So, because yeah, that looks like it's practically ready to go. I mean, I want like there's. Oh God.
They probably won't ever get the credit they deserve because like it's probably going to go like smoothly. The land grab is going to go pretty well, and all the things that went into like making it like go smoothly, like none of us will really ever understand. But like, I mean, we've seen other projects where like land grabs are really complicated and like they don't go smoothly and they had to restart it. I'm remembering some projects out there that were like that, and I have a feeling that they will have like tested the land grab so many times they'll probably have simulated it a bunch of times, and it'll just be as effortless as everything else has been.
Yeah, I would assume they definitely want to make it fair, and then they I feel like they've been doing a great job ever since the first ever mints, which is why they made their own tech, and I think they're gonna be I think it's gonna go extremely well.
Yeah.
Well, do I think everybody's gonna claim? No, definitely not. I mean, even I think I'm gonna probably hold off on having some stuff reserved for Fortune and
Yeah. Oh, you got it.
Esperanza too. So, right?
You got. I mean, you got. I think it'll it'll be interesting because I bet you Solace. So some percentage of the land plots in Solace are going to go unclaimed until all three domes are out there, right? Because you're going to want to hold on to some, and then when all three domes are out there, then the land plots are going to be like, okay, what's left, and they're going to be cherry picking those, and from the three of them. So I bet you like 50 to 80% of Solace is claimed, and then the last
Right.
20% is like when they're all out there. It's so
Yep.
but it's going to be
That's
hard. It's going to be hard to not go claim. I mean, because you have these deeds, and you're like, well, there's a land plot, I could take it. You're gonna have some restraint there while you're waiting for Solace and Fortune.
Yeah, I'm curious how this is going to be very interesting though in terms of how once the game comes out, once the themes zones come out, how the floor price is going to be for these NFTs. I'm
Yeah.
curious to find out because I have no idea. I mean, I don't know if they're going to drop or if they're going to go up. Like, I
Yeah.
could see them dropping once claims start happening, right? But then it should
Yeah.
ramp up again because as more and more people get exposed to the game in terms of marketing and getting that household name of Pernick to everybody out there, and who knows, maybe they might get a like a VC funding type of like exposure as well. Who knows?
It's
Anything could happen.
I think it's like just thinking about it logically from supply and demand. If there's like X amount of land plots, and then all of a sudden, the land claims, like let's say a third of them are gone now. So now there's fewer claims, right? So like I could see it like ramping up as Solace is claimed, and then Fortune, and then when you're down to Esperanza, like okay, if you want to be able to have a chance at claiming like a really interesting plotted land, now you only have 33% of what's left, and this is your last shot. So it's
Mhm.
like, okay, so like I could see it just like kind of flooring it up each step of the way.
Now, Moose, if you actually also hit your up key on the D-pad there, you're going to pull up the map. It's going to show exactly where you are in Solus, and see, like, these are all the town plots.
Did you hear Moose? You went, oh shit.
You can actually zoom out to see how the actual scale of Solus in your Solus one right now. So just absolutely massive. You're actually you're able to drop down custom markers as well if you want to save a specific spot.
Yeah, I'm claiming, guys.
Yeah.
Claiming. How do I claim? Bro, that is sick. There we go.
You can set down a marker and then hit the B button.
Now in the future,
So now
you'll have the ability to drop down multiple markers.
a quick 360.
But this is just
Right
in
there.
the infancy as far
There's
as
the
the map
marker
system
you
goes.
just set down.
But it's
So
going to really help
you see it on the map. You
get
can
a
go
feeling
travel
for
that way.
where you are in space.
Oh, dude, that's sick.
Navigation feature is going to be essential for this one because it's
Yeah,
such
that's
a
fire.
huge-
What about getting through the trees?
You can just walk through them.
Yeah?
Yep.
Check out the Aspen forest he's walking into. Definitely somewhere you can get lost. Obviously, at the top of his compass there too, he placed a custom marker on somewhere where he wanted to go or he wanted to save. It'll help you get back to that specific location.
That's pretty cool.
What do you think, man? Yeah.
Wow. I'm gonna start a family out here, dude.
I'll actually pull up the specific land plot details, and then that's how you'll be able to claim the future. So it's got the address, the plot ID, the
You have
side
some
video.
plot? You have some plot?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So,
man.
so here's the mistake that I made. I actually sold a bunch of my land because I was
Jeez,
like,
that's cool.
I'm going to be managing a bunch of knights.
I gotta go find
Yeah.
that.
But then I came onto the team and I wasn't allowed to be in the leadership of the knights.
Okay.
Oh, Josh.
I know, just poor Josh. I think he'll do all right. So
Yeah,
I
he'll
mean
be all
that's
right.
everything about that looked amazing. I thought, just like the trees, like all of it, it's gonna be really interesting to see what happens when content creators on YouTube can now have like these kind of like incredible gaming videos that exist nowhere else in Web3. Like even if you put a side by side video of Illuvium to like what we just saw in 4K, like Illuvium is pretty good. It is not as good as that though. So like when you start at least visually stimulating, there's more
Mhm,
gameplay in Illuvium, so it's more action packed. But like
mhm,
you know, when content creators can show that, I think that they're going to be, even without having to pay them, for marketing, just for their own YouTube channels, and wanting to have something visually awesome to look at, like that's going to be what they choose over. Like, I mean, if you're gonna talk about like Vi-Fi or Dex Hunter versus Cornucopias, like Dex Hunter or Wi-Fi, all you can show is their interface, right? Their decentralized finance. This has a
mhm.
whole 4K quality gaming aspect
So
to it.
complex.
Yeah.
extremely complex. I mean, I'm very excited. This is exciting times. I mean, this is a game that I'm really excited for. I mean, there's gonna games coming out this year and every year, right? But it's like this game obviously I have a connection to it clearly.
Yeah.
It's I mean, I've have NFTs for this and really hoping for it to succeed. Not even just because of that, like, but just because I mean, hell, I like the team. I mean, everybody
Yeah.
so far that in the community as well, the people who are in the Discord actively, like this is why we're even doing this podcast, is because we want to show support. We want to show, um, you know, we want people to just get exposure because the sooner we tell people, you know, about this game, the better.
Yeah.
I feel like people should not miss out on this game.
I mean, if you're betting, you want to bet on people who have done things in the past, who have created big things and profited off of them.
Hmm.
Rob created a
Yeah.
successful real estate management company,
Hmm.
not management, but like a I guess like a
Like a software.
software that monitors real estate. And then he did the API cloud business. I think it was him and Ant who did that. Both created it, both sold it, and then here they are on to their next project. Like, that doesn't mean that cornucopia is definitely going to be successful, but if you're going to bet on something to be successful, you want to see people that have had success in the past.
Yeah, the only thing I and right on all points there. The only thing I do question, and I don't know, I don't know if this is even like something I'm allowed to ask, but like, in terms of funding for cornucopias, I've always been curious about that, just because I brought up Pavia, right, and their
Yeah,
situation. They had mentioned their post that they were out of money by since like February, apparently. Suppose
yeah,
that's what the post says. I've always been curious about cornucopias' funding and how that works because I'm not sure if they actually did get funding from Catalyst, funding back in the day. I know Rob had like proposals for that. I've
yeah.
always been curious. I want. I mean, as a person who's really focused on this game, it does with recent events. You kind of want to question a little bit about that, right? Like, you're
Yeah.
not in an intrusive, like, not to be too intrusive, but I just want
And
to,
not anything against the team, but because what's happened outside the team makes you like, oh man, if that,
yeah,
Pavia had a lot of red flags that
even
Cordyceps doesn't have, but it does
yeah.
make you worry because you're human. It would be human not to worry and human not
Yeah,
to worry.
even again, other projects have had the similar issues on why. Then that's why they've shut down as well. They've or postponed.
Yeah,
I think there was some other projects that are more kiddish games. Some NFT projects. What I can think of are, oh shoot, Crypto Dinos. I think was one of them. They had a little bit of a thing, but then they came back, and then Yummy Universe had their own issue, where someone like took their funds or something like that, and it's just like now
yeah.
it's tanked because it was supposed to be a great card game. Hell, I was really involved, like really involved for that one and pushing for that one, and that one's kind of fallen by the wayside. So you always have to think about, like, as a person on my end, the funding,
Yeah.
and at least mention that. In my opinion, that's just me, just to like kind of put people at ease.
I'm kind of glad you brought that up because you and I doing this podcast, I think sometimes, I don't know if you've experienced this, but sometimes people who are in the community, when they have concerns or they have fears, they come to you and they run them by you, right? So
Hmm, I do.
I'm not gonna out anybody, but I will say I had two different people come up to me in Discord DMs ask me because they had this recent like ape bond sale, right? With the base sale where they put 10 million Kopi up in a liquidity pool so that people could buy and help. What they said was that they're doing is they want to help the liquidity on base by getting in more hands, and that's what they're doing. Some people in the community took this to mean it's like, where did this come from? We hadn't heard anything about it. And this was right after Pavia, when kabunk. So there's already that fear, and so now Cornucopias did this thing, and they're like, does this mean they're out of money? Like, are they doing this because they need more money? And I was like, my first reaction is like, what is 10 million, what is selling 10 million Kopi gonna do for the project? If they were out of money, do you think that's gonna what's that gonna keep the project running for an extra 7 days or like an extra month?
Hmm.
So first off, it seems kind of silly on its face, but you know the team did just sell 9,000 nodes at probably, it's like $300 a pop, like assuming that they made like they netted like 250 about per that. that's a lot of money. That's probably a year's worth of like, paying wages and stuff. They're getting the 5% royalties from the sale of the NFTs. Now the NFT sales are not like happening a lot, but I do think that cornucopis is like usually like in the top 5 to 10 most traded assets on JPEG store. So
You're right.
like they're getting
Consistently, yeah.
yeah, so they're getting regular revenue from that. And this is what I said to him. I was like, do you really think they would be spending money on Consensus and Rare Evo if they were out of money? Like those are kind of luxuries. I don't think you go to Rare Evo and Consensus if you're out of money. Like
Yeah,
so
'cause
like I
yeah,
just thought
'cause
it
it's
was I thought it was just fear I was hearing from people for over Pavia. I didn't think it
yeah,
was real.
I mean, that's right, and that's just right, that's what's just been circulating. I mean, let me tell you, it's not cheap to set these booths out there. I mean, and these booths can be anywhere from 5 to
Yeah.
$15,000 depending
Well,
on the
Consensus they said was
convention.
like 40,000. I imagine Rare Evo is
Yeah,
cheaper than
but
Consensus.
well, I'm just talking about just like the
Yeah.
booth itself,
Yeah.
just the plot. Like
Yeah.
we're talking about
Right.
lamp plots,
Yeah.
right? We're talking about a plot,
The
and you have
plot
to
and
pay
the
for
yeah.
carpet. I mean, that particular location looks like they have carpeted space. But I mean, like again, I'm in this business. I'm in the convention business, so I've seen this stuff, and I used
Yeah.
to work in the the exhibit side of things as well. So like I've seen dollar prices as to what
Yeah.
this costs. So I see it all the time. Like this is that's my fiat mind,
Yeah.
right? That's where I'm at.
There's no history of this team being dishonest with us, right? So like
Correct.
if they say they're creating this liquidity pool, this was my theory is that there are some larger investors who want to buy Kopi, that they can't buy the quantities of Kopi they want without slippage, so that we know for a fact that the Cornucopias team has been showing the game to investors. I've been in the game where they've turned the nighttime off so they could show investors around in daylight. So like my guess is that there's some larger investors on base that want to go buy larger quantities of Kopi, that they can't do it without too much slippage, so that they created this option for them, and they opened it up to everybody, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like that's who these people are to me. That's who the team is. They're not being sneaky. That they have no history of being dishonest. They have no history of being evasive. So I
Mhm.
take them at their word when they say that this is what they're doing. So
Yeah.
I didn't mean to go off in this tangent, but it
No,
is. I
I'm with
I
you.
did. I heard people's talk about this, and it bothered me that they were like
No,
just
I
you
mean,
know
I feel like I sense the passion, from you. So
yeah
like, I know you're here for the cornucopias team in the game and all that.
yeah
Plus, I know you're a whale in the space, right? Too. So like, so I get it too. But like, I think like, I'm I mean, I don't know for about people out there watching. I provided liquidity as well in the base network. I mean, I feel like
yeah
everybody. I think honestly, everybody should be doing that. I think it's like a no brainer that people should
yeah
be. There is impermanent loss, but I think with Kopi being chain agnostic, that's a huge deal. You can go. You can now, in a way, take it over to ETH or base, uh, and go. I'm assuming you can convert it to USDC. You can always like
mhm,
convert ADA
yeah
to USDC that way because
yeah.
you're able to chain port stuff over.
There's so many
That's
ports
that
and bridges now.
technology.
It's easy. Yeah.
Yeah, that technology, but chain port technology is insane too. I love that partnership that they got going on with that. And
But
there's a
Eddie,
staking channel too.
I'm getting the stink eye from my girlfriend right now. So I think it's time to end the podcast. I mean, we definitely were in our true form, going off on some tangents here. But do you have any? I mean, do you want to call like our discussion about
Yeah.
the
Closing
final
thoughts.
shots? Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So closing thoughts. Make sure you claim your copy on drip drops. This is gonna be the last time that you're able to claim. The staking itself is done, but you can claim your rewards up until September the 5th, end of the
yeah,
16th, I think is the last
yeah.
day. Epic 510.
Yeah, the Monday of the 16th in September, 510 is correct.
Yeah, so make sure you claim those. Yeah, the land staking is done. Eventually, they'll probably do something in the future. I'm not part of the team, but man, I would expect that they would do something like that again. But claim your copy,
Mhm.
stake on ETH, BNB, or I mean, provide liquidity there.
Yep.
I think it's worth it. You get paid in copy with serious rewards,
Yep.
and yeah, I mean, looking forward to seeing everybody out in Solace when it comes out.
Yeah, it's gonna be epic. It's gonna be amazing. Eddie and I want to thank the Knights Guild for letting us be a part of their amazing community. Make sure you're following them on X. I have it on good authority that their X is going to be a little bit more active than usual. With some fun stuff going on there. Use the links in the description to join their Discord and their website. You can follow us on X if you want to keep up to date with what we got going on Around the Corn. Thank you to everybody in Vegas. I mean, there's too many people to name, but we've seen you all on the videos. We appreciate the work you're doing out there. It is important work. I hope you guys are balancing the long days, managing the booth with a little bit of fun. Make sure you get out there. Don't bet too much coke beyond blackjack. You want to make sure you stay within your limits and have a good time while you're guys there. We love seeing you out there. We really appreciate the work you're doing. Finally, please subscribe to Around the Corn's YouTube channel so you don't miss next week's episode. We got some fun Knights Guild things in the works. We're trying to bring you guys the best content we can be while you're waiting and appreciating this game being developed, and we hope you guys appreciate it. We appreciate you guys watching.
Yeah, we might have some guests on next week, so
we're hoping to. Yeah, we're hoping to having some guests on next week, so we're looking forward to that.
Cornucopians, lend us your ears. Where's Rob? Rob would love that one. Ears like ears of corn. No, anyway.